Hello Tarantula lovers, I'm Alex and welcome back to Tarantula Haven. Santa came early for me this week. I received a shipment of Tarantula enclosures from the Spider Shop. Tyler contacted me and he told me that he had received a bunch of new enclosures for the Spider Shop just in time for Christmas after they had been delayed for quite some time. So he asked me if I was interested in doing a video for him to showcase some of those enclosures, and I told him heck yes. So he sent me some samples, and those are the samples in those boxes. So I'm going to do an unboxing of those enclosures and do some rehousing of some tarantulas that are in desperate need of new enclosures, so this came just in time for me as well. I did want to add something to this video. I did go to Repticon today, and I wasn't really shopping for anything. I was actually delivering tarantulas from my Dolichothele diamantinensis that had made an egg sac. So I was very happy to get those babies off my hands so they can sell them and get them out to the general public. Hey everybody, I'm at the Orlando Repticon and I'm here to drop off some spiders, but I'm also here to look and see what I can find. Mostly I'm looking for enclosures, but you never know what's in there that I just can't pass up. So here we go. up not getting anything at Repticon as far as tarantulas are concerned. I was really interested in those centipedes that Michael had, but I just couldn't bring myself to do it, and I've never had a centipede, and I don't know if I want to go that route yet, so I held off on that. I did end up buying an enclosure that I'll do a video on later on when I set that up, and I bought some roaches and some fruit flies, but other than that I wasn't really interested in picking up anything. My daughter, on the other hand, did pick up a Malaysian cat gecko, which is really cool, and I get to kind of enjoy it vicariously. So I think she's going to do an enclosure setup on that, or an enclosure build, so I'll probably do a video on that and you'll get to see that in more detail. All right, let's start out with the big one. It's actually quite heavy, so I'm excited to find out what's in here. I know it says perishable on the side, but it's actually not anything perishable. I think it's because it's got foam and stuff in there as far as the packing is concerned. Yeah. All right, so let's see what's in here. Ooh, my plants. All right, so I got a tall one. A shorter one. An even shorter one. Another shorty. And another tall one. All right, let's start out with this shorty right here. It's actually on its side, so it opens up here. All right. Okay, so that is a terrestrial enclosure. Very nice. And this one is very similar. I think it's this way. All right, I think this is the same thing. So there's two of those. All right, let's take a look at this next one. This one seems to be tall. So those are two terrestrial enclosures. So I imagine this one might be an arboreal. Oops, forgot to cut the top. There we go. Okay, so yeah. We've got an arboreal enclosure. And here's another one. This is another one laying on its side, so it might be a terrestrial. This one's a little bit bigger. This is interesting. Oh, this is cool. All right, so this is another terrestrial enclosure, but this one lays flat, but it's nice and long, so very cool. And this last one appears to be another arboreal enclosure, so let's take a look at that. All right, so yeah, that's a good size arboreal right there. Very nice. Okay, so let's look at the small box now. Okay, let's see what's in this one. All right. Ooh. Styrofoam peanuts. All right, so another shorty it looks like. So let's open that up. Yep, another short one. Very cool. And another short Arboreal. Very nice. I need these. All right, so what I'll do is I'll showcase each one and tell you what the names are and let you know where you can find them. This enclosure features ventilation holes across the top and ventilation holes across the front. It has a sliding door that opens to the side and locks in place by the use of magnets. This enclosure features ventilation holes across the top of the lid, ventilation holes up front, and it has a low profile. It also features a side opening lid, complete with a magnetic locking mechanism. This enclosure features a clear view front from top to bottom. It has a front sliding door at the top complete with ventilation and locking magnets. It also has ventilation holes across the sides, but it does not have ventilation holes down low. This would be ideal for both arboreal and fossorial species. This enclosure is pretty much identical to the smaller version. It features an easy slide top door, complete with magnetic lock. It also has a clear front view and it has ventilation holes on the side at the top. However, it does not have any ventilation holes toward the bottom. This could also make it ideal for a large fossorial. For the smaller terrestrial enclosure, I decided to use this for my Aphonopelma annex. Even though I lose a little bit of floor space compared to the enclosure that she's currently in, she doesn't roam around much. She tends to burrow underneath the cork bark and pretty much stays there. If she does come out, this way I can enjoy her a little bit better in the nice clear enclosure instead of the one with the dark lid. And for the large terrestrial enclosure, I'm using this for my Grammostola pulchripes. She's a beautiful specimen and I don't get to enjoy her very much in the dark enclosure, so this way she can be out on display and I get to enjoy her all the time. For one of the smaller arboreal enclosures, I decided to use this for my Avicularia juruensis morph type 2. And the reason I chose this is because it's got the top opening lid, which is not necessarily all that great for an Avicularia species, but I wanted to see how it worked out because they tend to web toward the top. She's a gorgeous specimen and has gotten some good size on her, and I wanted to put her in something that I could display her better because I have her in a crappy Amec box that I kind of messed up, which is why I have the tape on the bottom. And for the other arboreal enclosure, I've decided to use this for my Salmopius erminia. She has gotten some pretty decent size on her and is beautiful, so I decided I needed to put her in a bigger enclosure, and this works out just fine. Don't you just love it when they do exactly what you want them to? And she wouldn't be a P. erminia without a little threat posture. I didn't utilize all of the enclosures that he sent me, and the reason for that was because I ran out of substrate, and it's Sunday night and there's nowhere where I can go to buy more substrate, so I kind of had to quit where I was. And that's okay, because that just means in the future I'll do more rehousings with the Spider House enclosures. I still have the Arboreal large and the two other short terrestrials like this. I'm still deciding what I want to put in those, especially the large. I want to really think and kind of do it up as nice as I can. So this, was kind of short notice, and I just wanted to make sure that I had it set up the way I wanted to make it look as beautiful as possible. So I will spend the time figuring out what I want to put in there, and you will see a future rehousing using the Spider House enclosure, this large arboreal. There it is, the new line of Spider House enclosures from the spidershoppe.com. Thank you, Tyler, for giving me the opportunity to review your product. I think that they are wonderful. I feel like they are a quality product, and I think that they're beautiful as well. There's some great points about each of these, and but I'm going to be brutally honest here. There are some things that I do not like, and I'm going to share those with you and why, but they are just minor things. As far as the enclosures are concerned, I do think that they are a good contribution to the hobby. Now, first of all, I like the Arboreal. I do like that it has the nice blank front right here, because this gives you a good viewing area for your enclosure. I love the fact that it has a top opening lid. Whenever you're dealing with arboreals, especially a feisty arboreal like this P. erminia, it's always good to have top access. It would be better if you had side or front and top access, or even side and top access, but I feel like top access is more important than front access, because those feisty tarantulas, if you have a door right here that opens in the middle, sometimes they'll go up. And if they go up, they're going to be hard to get down and out from that side opening. So this is definitely a big positive, because you don't want to be reaching under there when you've got a spicy tarantula, especially one that could give you a nasty bite, because they do drop down and sometimes they can land on your hand and bite you. So that is definitely a positive thing there. As far as drawbacks are concerned, one thing that I don't like, and this is just a minor thing, I know that branding is a good thing, but having a big logo like this on the front is definitely a drawback. It's kind of an eyesore when you're looking at your enclosure. You want to enjoy the beauty of it, whatever you have inside, and having a big distracting logo on the front is kind of a thing that takes away from its beauty. So smaller would probably be a little bit better as far as the logo is concerned, but that's just an aesthetic thing. It's not really anything major as far as practicality or anything like that. The other thing that I don't necessarily like about this, I do like that it has pretty good ventilation here, but it only has top ventilation. And if you're dealing with arboreals, especially your avicularias, you want to have some ventilation down here on the sides a little bit, just so you have good cross ventilation. You don't get that stagnant air down here. So that's definitely something that I would probably improve upon this. I might even go in there and drill some holes myself, but anytime you do that, then you open yourself up to damaging your enclosure. So you got to be real careful with that. But other than that, that's pretty much the only drawback that I see. I like that it's clear all the way around, and not, like white or black on the back, although I might put something back there, but that's my choice. But I like the clarity all the way around. Now, as far as the terrestrial enclosure, again, well made, good quality, and same thing, the logo on the front is kind of huge, but that's just a minor detail and it's just aesthetic. But I do not care for the side opening lid right here that goes out the side like that. That is, to me, a little bit impractical, because I usually put my enclosures side by side. So if I want easy access and I have to open sideways like this, it's going to hit the enclosure next to it, which means I'm going to have to pull the enclosure out, open it up, deal with whatever I need to do inside, and then close it and put it back. So this prevents easy access. It would be nicer if I had a front sliding door on it, because then I could just pull the door off, drop stuff in, or do any kind of small maintenance or anything like that, and then close it right back up. So in my opinion, that's a little bit of a drawback. I would probably put the enclosure this way, which gives me less of a viewing area right there. So, that's just a minor thing on here. But that also may be a patent issue. If there's, a patent on the other type of enclosure with the front opening lid like that, then maybe it's something that they just couldn't do. Another thing that I dislike about this is the fact that it has the ventilation holes across the front. Just like this, you got a nice clear viewing area on the Arboreal. I wish I had that on the Terrestrial as well. I would rather have the ventilation holes on the sides right here on the short sides, and have a clear viewing area on the front. The back ventilation does not bother me at all, because that's just something that's not really seen, but I like to be able to see into my enclosures clearly without looking through holes or the big logo. In conclusion, I do think that these are a good quality enclosure, and I do recommend them. I feel like these new enclosures that are coming out that are dedicated specifically to our tarantulas is a good thing when we're coming from a world where we're looking for shoe boxes and hammock boxes to put our tarantulas in. It's very nice to have some selection now of enclosures that are dedicated to our tarantulas. So that's a win-win for all of us in the hobby. So definitely check them out. If you want to look at their enclosures, check out thespidershoppe.com, and if you'd like to purchase your own, you can use the promo code HAVEN and get 10% off your purchase. So definitely check them out. The link is down below in the description. And that does it for me today. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please give me a like. If you want to see more, subscribe. If you want to support this channel, I have a Teespring store where I sell Tarantula Haven merchandise. Thank you so much to my Patreon supporters, and if you'd like to become a patron yourself, there's a link down below in the description, as well as all the others. Until next time, keep loving them tarantulas, and buy them a spider house.